This is about a painting that is in the Union League, okay? And the painting is a portrait of Andrew Jackson. Now, why Andrew Jackson is in the Union League, no one ever knows, because he was certainly not, or he certainly would not have been a proponent of the Union. Okay, but anyway, it was a very wonderful portrait. It wasn't signed or anything, but it was a scholar at the Smithsonian had supposed that this was an early portrait by a portrait artist by the name of E.D. Marchant. Okay, so, but anyway, it was a very, very dirty painting. I mean, it was not just dirty, it was filthy. Okay, and it had the two kinds of filth in extremis. Okay, it had surface grime itself that was a very dark gray, mixed with a dark brown from all the people who sat and smoked their cigars in front of it. And then it had a darkened and discolored varnish on it that was a dark brown. So I had this painting and I started to clean it, and I got the dirt off, which you usually have to do in separate stages. And I got the dirt off, and there was such a remarkable difference in the two that I said, well, I only need to get the dirt off. But then I made a little test where just the varnish was left, and of course there was a remarkable difference there too. So then I removed the very dark varnish, and it turned out that the entire background of the painting, and it was just sort of a background like that portrait up there. It was kind of a brown green whatever background, but I could see that the entire background almost was repainted, just like, unfortunately, that painting, which is a dead painting, has been completely repainted. So I'm looking at it and I'm looking at it, and I see all this repaint, and then over to the left side I see sticking up from the surface what looked to me like little letters. I mean, they're underneath the this brown repaint. So I said, well, let me see if I can take some of that retouching off, because it really looks like there's a letter under there. And I managed, with a lot of difficulty, to get that oil retouching off. And see, the problem with oil retouching, and that's what it was, that's on top of oil paint, is how do you remove the oil paint that you want to remove without removing the original paint. And sometimes you can do it because the age of the two paints is so different that the solubility is very different, so you can remove one without removing the other. And I did manage to get that stuff off, and there was this whole inscription, and the inscription said, I don't remember exactly, but it said something like, painted from the life in rapid sittings. So the artist was congratulating himself, and he was proud of himself. On February the 6th and 7th, some dates, 1840, at New Orleans, by E.D. Marchand. Okay, so like I was like thrilled. I mean, I'm thrilled now. You know, I was just thrilled because this is like what conservation is about. And I immediately called the person at the Union League and said, I found blah 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 blah, you know, and he got all excited, and he called the scholar at the Smithsonian, who of course got all excited, like people were excited all up and down the East Coast. And it turned out, you know, the lives of the presidents are very well documented. And nobody knew that Andrew Jackson was in New Orleans on those dates. So it was fabulous.